Hello, my friends. I'm Lenny with Gig Workers Matter, and I'm joined here by my friend Kelly, and we are going to go over the process of applying for unemployment benefits on the IDES website. That is the website for Illinois. So for gig workers, any app-based transport worker, this is what you will be seeing when you apply for your unemployment insurance benefits. So let me pop my screen up, and Kelly is live with us here as well. Just one moment. Go off my phone here. And here we are, first screen. After you go to the IDES website and you click that you want to apply for the unemployment benefits, it will take you to this login screen. And I'll let Kelly take over from here.
Okay guys, hi, my name's Kelly. I'm with Gig Workers Matter, and we are going to guide you through the unemployment application process, and we're going to tell you how to do this, whether you are an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, a delivery driver, a taxi driver, a limo driver. It doesn't matter. If you're a 1099 contract worker, this applies to you. Okay, so when you first go to the website, you're going to register and create a username and a password. As you see here, it says first-time users register below. If you have been on unemployment in the past from a W-2 job, you will use that previous username and password. If you forgot it, you can click the forgot username or password link, and you can retrieve your username and password. Next slide. Okay, so this will be the beginning of your application process. Here you're going to fill out your profile information. It's very important that you take your time in filling this information out. If you get something wrong, as simple as your birthday, you will have to call the 800 number, which is 800-224-5631, in order to fix any mistakes you make on this application. So take your time, fill this out carefully. There's no way to fix any mistakes you make once you hit submit, okay? Next slide.
That is some excellent advice. As myself, I've received a lot of inquiries on what to do on that situation, because people have filled in 2020 when putting in the birth date, just unfortunately made a simple error like that, and it has cost them the ability to certify and complete their application correctly. And now they're dealing with exactly what Kelly said, doing many phone calls to try to reach somebody live on the lines here. So next screen, sorry about that.
It's okay, super hard to get through, so you guys definitely want to take your time here. Now this this screen you're seeing is all personal information about yourself. Okay, so you're gonna answer this just, you know, about yourself. I can't advise to this screen except for the last one where you see it says, do you wish to claim dependents? So if you have a spouse that does not work, you can claim your spouse as a dependent. If you have children, you can claim one of your children. You can only claim one dependent, so either your spouse or one of your children. That's it, okay? Next slide. Okay, so here is going to be your employer information. As you see here, something is blacked out. That's because the person who I'm using as an example had a small amount of W-2 income, which means they worked for an employer as an employee, and employers report employees' income on a quarterly basis to IDES. So if you have had any W-2 income in your base quarters, it will populate here automatically. So all you're gonna have to fill out, if you get this page that has an employer name there and address and phone number already, you're just going to have to fill in the information as to what was your first and last day of work there, and so on. If you have no W-2 income, you're going to be starting on the next page.
That is right. And just before moving on to the next page, prior to this screen, it is going to ask you to enter in the details of your identification that you carry with you. So that is your state ID or your driver's license. And as Kelly mentioned, it automatically populates this information, and it showed that this example from this worker, it popped up their part-time work that they had did last year as part of their income, and they had to answer those questions. For those that don't have any W-2 income, it's essentially going to take you straight to here.
No, it'll take you straight to the next screen.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. This screen is going to, you are going to see this screen if you work for more than one app-based company, or if you're a taxi driver, you work for more than one affiliation, or a livery driver and you worked for Uber and a livery service. So this is going to be the screen that you're going to see every time you finish inputting the information for each employer. It's going to ask you, are all of your employers here? You're going to say no if you have more to enter. Let's say you did Uber and Lyft and DoorDash. You're going to say no until you enter them all. If you worked for ABC Limo and Uber, you're going to say no until you've entered both. If you worked for Yellow Cab and Uber Taxi, obviously you're going to say no until you've entered both. Okay, next slide.
Exactly. And to add to Kelly's example there, my personal one, I believe I had 6 employers listed because I had the rideshare companies and the delivery app companies listed on there, and I had all of those that I had to keep answering to until I completed. So moving forward.
Right. So, and then this is going to be the employer screen. Okay. And what you are going to do here is going to be different for a lot of people. So I'm going to start with Uber and Lyft drivers, rideshare and delivery drivers. What you're going to put under the employer name is that company. I know we're not employees and they're not our employers, but for the sake of unemployment, they are. So you're going to put Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever, Instacart, whatever it is, you're going to put it there in that first box. In the address, you're going to put their address. You can find that address on the 1099 that they issued you for 2019. In the phone number, you can put your own phone number there. It's not like a regular employer where they have to call and find out that you were laid off and get permission from the company, because the company is not paying for our unemployment. The federal government is. So you can put your own phone number in there. Now, these next questions, this next one's going to be personal to you. If you had another last name, what state did you work in? This is obviously going to be Illinois. If you did not work in Illinois, you're going to want to apply in the state that you worked in, even if you do live in Illinois. The most recent start date for this employer is going to be the day you started working. For example, for me, I started doing rideshare in November of 2016, November 21st of 2016. So that was my start date. So you guys have to think about when you started doing this type of work. And you don't have to know the exact day, okay? You need the month and the year, and you can put any day in there. If you remember the day, that's good. But if you don't, just pick, January 1st, 2018, whatever, okay? The last day that you worked is going to be the last day that you delivered food, the last day that you took a ride, even if it was one $10 ride and you didn't work for 2 weeks before that, okay? This is going to be the last day that you worked at all. That's what you're going to put in that box. Now, the next box, it says, between the most recent start date and the last day worked in this employment period, how many days have you worked for this employer? You guys are just going to have to calculate that. Either get a calculator or just do it in your head, whatever. But if you have worked more than 3 years, you're going to enter 999 in that box, because you can't enter a number higher than 999 days. The next question, how many days did you work in a week? Obviously, that's going to be different for everybody. So whatever that number is for you, 5, 6, 7. And the next one, how many weeks did you work during this employment period and earn? Okay, so this person's, it says, how many weeks did you earn more than $97? The reason it says that is because this person had that small amount of W-2 income. So they are qualified for $97 a week in unemployment. Almost every single one of you guys if you don't have W-2 income, what it's going to say here is, in how many weeks during this employment period have you earned $330 or more? Because that's the threshold for unemployment benefits if you don't have a threshold set for yourself. Okay, so it's going to ask that, and you're going to enter in the amount of weeks. If you worked for 1 year, it's 52 weeks. 2 years, you're going to put 99, because you cannot enter 3 digits here. So 99 is the highest, okay? The reason, this one's very, very important. The reason for separation from this employer, you're going to select laid off / lack of work. Even though we're not technically laid off, this is the way that you're going to get approved. If you put quit, your application will be denied, okay? You need to put laid off, lack of work. Now, before we go to the next slide, I'm going to go over this again for sole proprietors, S corporations, people that have C corporations, LLCs, people that have businesses that drive under their business name and they receive a 1099 from Uber or their taxi affiliation or the livery company, and this 1099 is submitted to their business name and not their personal name, okay? So what you're going to put here, again, is going to be that company, not your company. You're going to put that you worked for Uber or Yellow Cab or ABC Limo and their address, and you can use your own phone number. And then the other information is going to be the same, but is there anybody else I need to go over? No, that's it. So when you guys finish this application, the reason that I separated it like that is because you're going to take your 1099. Regular contractors are going to just take the 1099 that's issued to you, and you're going to upload it, and you're going to fax it. You're going to do both because you want to make sure that they got it, so send it both ways. You guys that own your own businesses and get 1099 submitted to your business name, like I said, you're going to put the employer as the company you provided service to, and then you're also going to upload the 1099 that was issued to your business, and along with that, you're going to upload your articles of incorporation for your business. This is how they are associating that business income to you personally, okay? So you need to upload it and you need to fax it. It's important to do both because some of the faxes are not going through and some of the uploads are not. So if you send it both ways, it's guaranteed to be processed, okay? The fax number that you're gonna send it to is 217-557-4913. And the upload will be in your options on the first page of the individual home screen of IDES. It'll be a drop-down box, and it'll say upload documents, and you can select it there. Go to the next slide, Lenny. Isn't this the slide we just did? Oh, this is a couple more questions on that page.
Okay, it's actually the slide, yeah.
Yeah, so what type of employment was this? So it's going to be, is this the one where it's none of the above? Yeah, so it's going to be none of the above. It's going to ask you, like, is it military or is it, I don't know, some other things. Your answer is none of the above for everyone. Okay, and was this your usual, what was your usual occupation for this employer? Go to the next one. There's going to be a box. Well, I don't think we have that screen, but you're going to select transportation. Everybody, limo, taxi, delivery drivers, rideshare drivers, you're all going to select transportation, okay? Next slide.
That is right, and it is, I believe, the very last option. And after you get to that screen, we have to jump around here. It takes you here.
Yeah, here you go. So here on this screen also, you're going to select none of the above for these questions. And then, do you have a definite return to work date? The answer is going to be no. And then, I believe it was cut off, but underneath that, there's another question that says, what is your job description or job title or something like that. So that's where you're going to put Uber driver or taxi driver or limo driver or delivery driver. You're going to actually type it in there, okay? And there's actually one more page that I'm sorry that we don't have it, but it's going to ask you if you have been, this is one of the most important questions that you get right. If you have been self-employed or an independent contractor since your last day of work. It's going to be a different date for everybody, but it'll say, have you been a self-employed or an independent contractor since such and such a date? The answer to that is an unequivocal no. Okay, guys, you have to say no to that. What they basically are asking is, after they already asked you earlier, what was the last day that you worked? They're asking you again, hey, have you worked since that day that you told us you weren't working? And if you say yes, now you don't qualify for unemployment, okay? So you say no to that question, all right? Even for you business owners, I know that you guys think, well, I'm still a business owner, so I'm still self-employed and I'm still an independent contractor. No, the answer is no. Just because you still own a business doesn't mean you're operating, okay? So the answer to that question is no. Now you can put up that next slide.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that Kelly's 100% correct with that information. Whether you are a good gig worker, a limo driver, a cab owner that owns their medallion, you want to answer it the way she just told you there, please. And
there's a lot of videos going around. I saw a lot of videos from on YouTube and other organizations that are trying to, you know, be helpful and post videos, and they have stated in their videos that you can say yes to that question. It's absolutely false. I've been counseling driver the unemployment process for about a month now, and every single driver, I mean hundreds of drivers, okay, every single driver that has done the process the way that I've told them to do it has gotten approved or is pending approval right now, and a lot of them have already received their money. Drivers that have said yes to that question have not gotten approved, and they're going through the process now, trying to get a hold of unemployment and trying to call that 800 number to change that answer, and it just makes your life a lot more difficult. So you need to say no to that question. On this page, for everybody that does not have any W-2 income at all, this is going to say estimated weekly benefit amount $0. For this person, it said that $97 that we saw earlier because they had a little bit of W-2 income, so it gave them a small benefit before they were approved for the full amount. So right here it will say $0, and that is perfectly fine. You're going to say okay, and you're going to submit your application, even though it says $0 and you feel like you don't qualify, okay? All that means is they don't know how much you made, so they don't know how much to pay you, because remember, unemployment is 43% of your income, so they don't have your income yet to make that determination. So once you have gotten this far, you're going to go ahead and continue, submit your application, and then you'll get the next screen, which is going to be your confirmation number and your claimant ID. The very important number on this page is going to be your claimant ID, because if you remember, I told you that you are going to fax and upload some documents. You're going to need to write your claimant ID number on the fax cover sheet, and in order to upload your documents online, you have to type this claimant ID number in a box in the upload section. Okay, so that's very, very important. Now, another thing, right here where it says click Illinois job link, because you have to register for this. You don't. This has been waived due to COVID-19. It is extenuating circumstances, and there are not jobs available to search for. So you do not have to register with JobLink. You may or may not get an email saying that you do need to register. You can disregard it. It's an automatically populated email. You don't have to register for JobLink right now. I want to show you some other things. Once you have completed this process and you have faxed in, you're going to fax and upload your documents immediately after you complete this application. There are some very good apps for faxing. One is called Simple Fax and one is called Easy Fax. Okay, the Simple Fax is for Android and the Easy Fax is for iPhone. And again, that fax number is 217-557-4913. And it's going to also be at the bottom of that last page of your application. So what's going to happen after you do this? Okay, everybody wants to know, well, when am I going to get my money? About a week to 2 weeks after you file, you're going to get a letter, and it's going to look like this. And it's going to tell you that your first certification day is whatever day, and that day is going to already be passed. And it's also going to tell you that you qualify for $0, okay? It's going to tell you that you've exhausted your benefits or you're monetarily ineligible. It's basically a denial letter. But it's also going to tell you to certify. But the problem is this letter is going to come after your certification day. So what you want to do is after you fill up the application, you want to wait 2 to 3 days, and then you want to call the TeleServe hotline. Number is 312-338-4337. You're going to register your social security number on there, and you're going to create a 4-digit PIN. And after that is going to tell you what your certification day is. I know a lot of you have never had unemployment before, so you don't know what certification means. It means that every 2 weeks on a designated day, you have to either call that number I just gave you or go online and answer a few questions to certify the fact that you're still not working. There's going to be several questions. The answer to every single question is no, except 2 questions, okay? And I'm going to tell you those 2. The questions you answer yes to, they're going to ask you, are you able and available for work during this certification period? You're going to say yes. The next question you're going to say yes to, it's going to say, did you actively look for work? You're going to say yes. Even though the requirement to look for work has been waived, you're still going to say yes to that question. All right? And somewhere around after your first certification, you're going to receive a letter that looks like this. And it's going to say, hey, we paid you $0. No big surprise, right? Because they still haven't processed your information. It takes about 2 weeks to 30 days for them to process your fax and for you to get paid. And it'll be after your second certification that you're going to get paid, okay, guys? And then you're going to receive a letter that looks like this, which is basically telling you that under unemployment, you are an employee of whatever company it is that you've been contracting with and that you do qualify, and that is what's called a redetermination letter. And you will also get a letter like this. Let me see if I can find, okay. You'll also get a letter like this that tells you, hey, you're approved and this is how much money you're gonna get, okay? So I don't want you guys to panic. It is a long process. But once you've done the application and you have uploaded your documents and faxed your documents, the only thing you need to worry about is certifying. When you get these first 2 letters in the mail and they tell you that you're denied and file an appeal, don't worry about it. Just pretend like they never came. Tear them up, throw them out. They don't mean anything to you, okay? You have to be denied regular unemployment benefits before they will pay you pandemic unemployment. And that's what we're receiving, okay? It's paid by the federal government through our state. I think I've touched on everything. Lenny, is there anything that I missed?
I cannot say that you did. That was amazing. So clear, thorough, and informative that I am very grateful. I followed your advice and it was excellent. So thank you very much for that.
I'm sorry. I want to add one thing. So although it has been stated originally that you will receive back pay to the day you stopped working, that's not what they're doing. So you will receive back pay for your regular weekly benefit to the first day of your application. So you're going to wait 30 days to get paid, but you're going to get back pay for that whole month. You will receive back pay of the federal pandemic unemployment compensation, which is the extra $600, back to either the date that you applied or March 29th, whichever is earlier. So if you applied on April 5th, you're only going to get it back to April 5th. They're not going to pay it back to March 29th, okay? I think that's all that I forgot.
Thank you very much, Kelly. I would just like to add that this was through a tremendous effort from her. Kelly has spent countless days, nights, evenings researching this and going through the process. And like she mentioned, she's not kidding. She's helped hundreds of drivers. So I thank her very much from myself personally and from all the community that she's helped out. And I'd like to share here, we are, again, Gig Workers Matter. Please check us out online at gigworkersmatter.com. Sign up for our contact list so you know exactly what we're up to. We do have many things that we are working on here locally, and we need more hands on deck to help us out. But I'll just wrap that up really quickly. Thank everybody for their time, for viewing us. And that's really it. Anything else you'd like to add in, Kelly?
No, I'm good. If you guys have any questions that I did not answer, feel free to go to Gig Workers Matter on Facebook and submit a question, and we will follow up with another video.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And to everybody out there, peace and love. Good luck to everybody that is out there working. I hope that all your customers appreciate you and reward you with a generous gratuity. Take care. Peace and love.
Good night.